Tell me what you see women entrepreneurs, their biggest struggles.
Number one is
If you're not failing, you're not learning.
failure is part of the journey. You're going to hear no. You're going to regret certain things or go down a path that maybe was not for you. And all of it is designed for your journey. It is a perfect designed curriculum helping you get to your highest good. My nonprofit is called Powered by Women. We have an annual conference called Brunch, which gathers 300 to 400 women. This entire event has been powered by women.
I try to be in rooms with people who have what I want because you become who you surround yourself with.
Everyone experiences the same emotions,
We
but
do,
the
yeah.
successful people are the ones who can view them in a different way. Don't suppress them, recognize them, honor them, observe them, and then continue on without
Right.
allowing them to be those barriers.
Oh, good, good, good.
Can I move these?
You sure can. Help me to stop talking with my hands so much because when we need to cut something, it's like I'm up here.
Yeah.
The difference of an entrepreneur from anyone else is we just implement our ideas. Everybody
Yeah.
comes up with good ideas, but if you don't do nothing with it,
Yeah, and that's the
leave
hardest
it.
part is
oh my
execution.
God. Yes,
So,
execution, yeah. Welcome to Bear It All with Linnsey. I'm so excited. We have an incredible guest, Bri. She is one kick-ass woman, and I'm so excited to interview her. Welcome.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. Can't wait for this conversation. I know it's going to be juicy.
Yes, girl, I love it. This is gonna be one of my favorite conversations. I love all about mindset. Honestly, your mindset is everything. It
Absolutely.
truly is.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your nonprofit and what you do.
Yeah, my nonprofit is called Powered by Women. We actually rebranded a little bit over a year ago. We were known as Women of Sacramento.
Okay.
But I had a big vision to expand in different cities where there's a
Right.
small business presence. And Women of Sacramento is obviously hyper local.
Sure.
So we have an annual conference called Brunch, which gathers 300 to 400 women every year. And every time I'm on that stage, I let everyone know like this entire event has been powered by women because we meticulously choose women-owned businesses. Every piece of decor you see, everybody from the DJ to the freaking napkins on the table are
Yes.
produced by women. So
Love it.
when we rebranded, I was thinking like, what is a good name for this organization? Because we are now a nonprofit.
Right.
And I was like, Powered by Women. Powered by Women is the thing. And what's funny is recently, I was, not recently, but I was interviewed for a magazine here in Sacramento 5 years ago. And I recently found it. And the title of our little spiel in the magazine was Powered by Women.
Oh,
so I
how
was like,
funny.
this is such a cool full circle
That is
moment.
so, yeah, like you manifested it. At
Yes,
that moment, it
I
was
did.
manifested
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, so
I
that was really
love
special. Yeah.
that.
It's a great organization. Obviously, I'm biased, but we're definitely event oriented. So we have an event almost every single week. I think every single week of the year. So we are
Okay.
quite busy. And then
Yeah.
our annual conference, we're going to have that in the spring 2026.
Oh, I have to come.
Oh, you got it.
Oh, I love
It
that.
is quite the experience. I make sure to make it as fun, Instagrammable as possible
Gotta
with
be
mimosas
Instagrammable.
flowing. Mini photo ops. So it's a great event to go to if you're a business owner, aspiring business owner, or just want to rub elbows with ambitious women.
I love that. I think there's something so powerful about women supporting women. Like I'm always a girl. You know when it's so funny, me and my daughter were actually talking the other day and she's like, you know, when a woman tells you you look beautiful, you're like, yes, queen, thank you.
Right.
But when a man tells you, you're like, oh, thanks. I
it
know.
hits different because
It
we really
hits
know.
different,
We know
yes.
what looks good.
We do.
Yeah.
And it's just the fact of like women supporting
Yeah.
women. It's so important in this world
Yeah.
of just like supporting each other. And tell me what you see women entrepreneurs, their biggest struggles.
Yeah, absolutely. I think number one is isolation. I think it's really easy
yeah.
when you're getting into this business space, entrepreneurship, to feel like almost wear it like a badge of honor. Like I did this myself. I bootstrapped my
Sure.
business and I did it all alone. When in reality, that leaves you without resources and connections that could massively propel your business forward. And also it makes you feel lonely. It makes you feel isolated. When you're in the room with other creative, innovative entrepreneurs that are maybe a few steps ahead of you, the ideas that can populate in that space are massive. So number one is isolation and not having the proper connections in order for your business to grow. And absolutely us. Like, we are our biggest barrier in the path of success. So once we're able to reflect inward and really work through the shit in our mindset, then we're going to be able to make the decisions, take the steps in order to actually make shit happen. So I always say, like, you are the barrier in your way. You're also
100%.
the biggest catalyst to your own success. I used this analogy before a few years ago when I was experiencing what I call the dark night of the soul in business, which happens like every year. I saw myself as like an arrow, a bow and arrow, and like I'm pulling myself back and I'm holding myself back and I'm creating these issues when in reality, all I have to do is let go. And like, I will also be the one to soar like an arrow towards where I want to be. I know that's kind of a corny analogy, but I'm like, I'm the bow and the arrow. Like, we are our biggest barrier as well as our biggest catalyst.
Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love how you talked about isolation, because that it is so important. Your tribe will make you or break you. And people don't realize, and it's kind of a corny thing, but the more you learn, the more you earn. And who you spend your time with in rooms is so important. I try to be in rooms with people who have what I want.
Absolutely.
Right? They say if your net worth is only $500,000, you need to be hanging out with people whose net worth is $2 to $3 million.
Yeah.
If your net worth is $10 million, you need to be hanging out with people whose net worth is $20 million, $30 million.
Absolutely.
Because you become who you surround yourself with. And so it's so important. I feel like people get in their head in business and they're like, I just need to figure this out. No, you got yourself as far as you know how to get yourself. You need to learn. You need coaches. You need mentors. You need tribes.
Yeah,
you need,
absolutely.
to be powered by other women.
Yes.
So that's so important. It truly is. I feel like who you know will get you, open up more doors for you any day than any education, any degree, anything. Who you know and your network is your network.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. It's the rooms that you're in and being intentional about, again, rubbing shoulders with people who are in the arena with you.
Right.
I always say, like, and this is not a phrase that I've coined, but don't take advice from people who have not yet created the success that you're wanting to create.
Oh, my favorite saying.
So many people like ask their family and friends, especially in the beginning, like feedback and advice and like, do you think I can do this? And they're so limited that they project their own insecurities onto you and keep you in your box because that's where you're safe technically.
Right.
Like, we're
That's
safe in our comfort zone. Yeah.
Right.
So when you start to push boundaries and you are asking for feedback from people who have never pushed those boundaries, they're not going to encourage you, maybe some, but they're going to project their own insecurities. And so that's why it's important to get in the room with other people who are steps ahead of you because they're going to see what's possible and they can even create the blueprint for you so that you get there quicker without as many detours.
I know, I agree. And it's kind of like the 2% of the world that really look at that. Even with like social media, you post stuff. And I noticed that on social media, my entrepreneur friends are like, hell yeah, girl, right on, like cheering them on. And like my friends that I went to high school with are like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
What do you mean that's cool, girl? Did you see what I just did?
Totally.
Why are you not cheering for me? And so people, because they're limited beliefs, like to them, that's like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so you want to surround yourself with people with that same mindset.
Yep.
I just think like there's a different kind of mindset with entrepreneurs. Like I feel like I go through life almost like everything's rigged in my favor and I can't lose. Yes, like I can't lose. And if I do lose, oh fucking well, I'm not off any worse than before I tried, right?
What a great mindset to have.
And that changes everything. And when you surround yourself with people like that, it rubs off on you. But if you listen to those people, I mean, people tell me all the time, like, that's crazy, or what if this, or, the stuff I put on social media, like, aren't you embarrassed putting your life out there? Like, no, I could care less because, like, what matters is what I think of me.
Absolutely.
Not what you think of me.
Yeah, I love that, like, manifestation, affirmation experience, and it's actually rooted in science. It's confirmation bias. So what you believe to be true, you're going to seek evidence out in the world to validate those beliefs. And that's why it all starts with what we believe about ourselves and what we believe is possible. It goes into like the subconscious brain of what we think can happen in our lives. And then what we believe, we're going to start looking around the world and within conversations and on social media that validates that. We think like, oh, I can't do it. And then we experience a failure. And then we're like, oh, see, I can't do it. I'm not good enough, or like it's never going to happen for me. But the opposite is also true. When we can like reprogram our subconscious mind and beliefs and start believing that we can and that we're worthy and deserving, then we're going to start seeking evidence, and that will create the reality that we live. That's why it's so powerful to reprogram those belief systems.
It is. It is. I'm working right now with, I always believe in having coaches, having mentors. Your coaches should have coaches. And I'm working with Natasha Graciano. So she was named by Forbes the #1 motivational speaker in the world under 40. And she teaches scripting.
Okay.
And that's writing it out like it already happened.
Oh, yes.
I'm a billionaire. I, created this business. I created this, and it's all manifesting. It's similar to like the fake it till you make it or live it until you become it, or there's all these different sayings, but it's literally manifesting the life you want so hard.
Love it.
It's just you manifest it so hard that it's going to come true, because I'm not going to accept any other option but for that to come true. I might have to try A or B or C to get there, but I'm not accepting anything else. So it's like all different forms of manifesting and just truly knowing. But you're right. People let like fear, like what if I fail? So fucking what? What if you fail? Like who cares?
Yeah, that's the cost of the game.
Up.
Like you're going to fail. And that's not something that we need to fear. Like failure is part of the journey, especially as an entrepreneur. You're going to have so many ideas. You're going to test
so much
different things, and you're going to hear no. You're going to, regret certain things or go down a path that maybe was not for you. And all of it is designed for your journey. It is a perfect 100%. Designed curriculum helping you get to your highest good.
It is.
So the more that you can embrace and look at failure through the lens of a learning opportunity. I always ask myself, like, even in the hardest situations, because over the past 12 years as an entrepreneur, I've experienced some hard freaking situations. And in the muck, in the pain, in the discomfort, I ask myself, what am I learning? What am I being taught in this moment? What can I pull from this so that I can then turn around and help other people so that they know what to avoid or what to prepare for? And also it develops me as a business owner. It develops me as an entrepreneur, as a leader, as a nonprofit leader, as a freaking sister and auntie, like as a partner. These moments of discomfort, those are what ultimately cultivate you as a person and really sharpen you to step into that next level.
I agree 100%. Like nothing's taught me in life like screwing up, right? You do something and you're like, that was a horrible way to do that. That was not the results I wanted. I will not do that again. That's just how you learn. I mean, it's even like a child. Like, toddlers, they throw fits in public, and once they get a little bit older and they're like, uh-oh, everybody's looking at me. Oh, I guess I'll stop doing that. Yeah. Right? It's just like the natural way we learn. And entrepreneurship is the same way. If you're not failing, you're not learning. How many billionaires had to file bankruptcy for certain businesses? Right. I've started businesses like ventures where I was like, oh, this is going to be freaking awesome. And then I'm like, I hate this business.
Same,
this
girl.
is not this is not fun. I do not enjoy this. I've had to do that. Like, started ventures where it seemed like a great idea, and then I got in and I'm like, either the push is not worth the squeeze, the squeeze not worth the push, like all of that, right? And that's okay, because guess what? What I learned from that is like things that I'll take and put towards different businesses. Yeah. So it's like, if you're not failing, you're not trying, you're not learning.
Yeah, and I think that's important. Like, I also have had so many different business ventures over the last 12 years. And I always say, like, I have no shame. Like, I do not care if I put things out in the world, and I usually go 100 miles an hour and I do all the research and I'm doing all of the work, and then maybe it doesn't work out. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, pivot. And I do that consistently
Right.
until I find something that I really want to stick with. And most people are too afraid about what they're going to be perceived as to the public to do those things. They don't want to share what they're building because what if it doesn't work out? And I'm like, but you're never going to know until you put it out there and try it. And then if you don't like it, it's okay. You know, there's so much life left in us.
It's so okay.
Yeah.
And, you know, as entrepreneurs, I think we tend to be like impulsive.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know an entrepreneur that doesn't have ADD.
Right.
Well, I just think it comes hand in hand.
You should see my ChatGPT right now. I have so many business ideas in there, like with business plans and launch plans.
Yes, our brain go. I think it's almost like you have to be like to be an entrepreneur. You have to have like that ADD mindset.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I love that like it's okay. And people worry so much like of what people think. And I think to truly reach success in life, you need to not care what other people think.
1,000,000%.
That is, I think, one of my superpowers in life is that, like, I truly don't care.
Yeah, same girl.
Especially being on social media.
Yes.
You're on social media. Some of the comments, you're like, well, damn, I guess my video's doing pretty well today because a lot of people are letting me know what they think of me today. And that's totally fine. But if people talk shit that you fail, well, hey, at least I got up and tried.
Yeah, and they don't pay your bills.
No.
Like, I always go back to that. Over the last 5 years ago, I was someone who was wearing all the filters and like concerned about how people would perceive me and how I show up. And then I can't remember exactly how this happened, but I just started to not give a fuck. I literally was like, I don't care anymore. Yeah. And so when that happened, it shifted online and my business grew exponentially because I was able to unapologetically show up as my true authentic self, which inspired other people to do the same. And then my business grew because of that. And then it just freed me from other people's expectations and criticism and judgment. I don't care. I genuinely do not care what a random person or a friend or a high school person that I went to high school with, like, I don't care what they think of me because they don't pay my bills. They're not in my inner circle and their opinion doesn't matter to me.
Well, and it comes back to, and I tell my kids this all the time, don't take advice from somebody you wouldn't want to trade lives with.
Yeah.
I get people all the time trying to give me advice. Well, I wouldn't really post that online if I was you. I wouldn't really do that. I share my journey and my life so openly. Like I share on, public TV. I'm going on, Good Morning America sharing, and it's opening with my mugshots.
Yeah,
so
that's powerful.
Yeah, that's how open I am. I share, I was a homeless drug addict. I have arrest records. Like, I have all these things. And so I think once you reach a level where you share that, you have to, like, just not care what anybody thinks.
And you have to be prepared for the criticism. But I think in general,
so much criticism. But who cares? Like, why do I care what you're saying? Because I feel like, I did all that, but I've built more in my 10 years of sobriety than most people have built in their whole life.
Well, and also we're not trying to reach those people.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
when we share, when we're vulnerable, people crave that connection. And it's only created through vulnerability. So when 100%. You lead with that and when you're transparent and you have the bravery to be able to share your story, it's going to reach the right people who will appreciate it and the lives will be changed from that. And that's what I know to be true about my own story. I'm such a transparent person. I'm careful with what I share. I'm not like publicly blasting every second of my life. I'm pretty strategic with what I share, but when I do share, like I share from the scar, not the wound. So I heal, I process, so that then I'm able to share the experience from a lens of like, this is what I've learned and here's how I can help you. But I think those transparent moments, that vulnerability is what connects you deeper with your audience. Those are the people who feel like they really know you and they can see your values shining through, which is what we all want to cultivate. There's so many brands who, they crumble when they don't stand up for what they believe in or when they don't share their values, they're not front and center in their marketing. And then you see these brands who are doing really well, especially in the last 5 years, because they chose to take a stand, because they chose to share, like, this is these are our values. And that's something that I would teach my clients. I was once a business marketing coach.
Okay, nice.
And that's one of the pillars of our marketing strategy is authenticity. Like, how can you show up? How can you be human? We have to teach people how to be human on social media because it has been taken away for so long. Everything's so fake and phony online. But you see this wave of people who are showing up raw and sharing the hurt, the messy middle, and their content goes viral because we want that.
Well, and it's relatable.
Yes.
You know, I think that's why like so TikTok and social media is so big, because before we'd see like these movie stars and all of this and the regular life, or even like the Kardashians, people love seeing relatable, or, you know, a lot of people like drama as well, but just seeing like, no, they actually struggle. Like these women who have this incredible life, no, they still struggle in their love life. They still struggle in parenting. Like they still struggle. People love to see relatable things.
Yeah.
And I think being a leader, it's powerful to be vulnerable and be raw and show the mess as well, but also show that with all that mess or any of these hurdles, look what I can still become, and you can too.
Yeah.
So I think it's so strong for leaders to really show that side, because seeing just on social media somebody who's like multimillionaire and just living this life and just seeing all the good, that's great. It's not relatable. It's not relatable to the, you know, average person.
Right.
And so really showing that like, hey, I've done all this, but like I still struggle on a daily basis with all kinds of things. I mean, I think we all do.
Yeah.
Maybe we could touch a little bit on just like my last podcast with Lacey, which is a friend of ours. We love Lacey.
Yes.
We were just talking about like mental health and how it doesn't matter how good you're doing in life. Like we all struggle a little bit with our mental health, whether it's being impulsive, it's ADD, it's, you know, struggling with depression here and there, or all of that. What do you see with that and common things with women and entrepreneurs?
Yeah, I think we try to stay strong, just women in general.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we do.
try to have that strong facade, and I can figure it out, and I can do it on my own. When most of us are feeling overwhelmed, isolated again, we're feeling insecure, we're comparing ourselves to other people who are putting on the same facade. But in reality, we're all just trying to figure it out. No one knows what they're really doing, and we're just trying to figure it out. And what I've seen, especially running Powered by Women, is like there's so much power in getting in the room with other people and talking about these topics. Because then you're like, oh my goodness, I thought that I was the only one experiencing this. And now I know that there are other people battling this imposter syndrome, battling this insecurity when it comes to showing up online. That's a big one that I see, is people who are so afraid to show their face online. Yeah. And because of what other people will think about them, because they're not even comfortable in their own skin to be able to look at themselves, you know, face to camera.
Right.
And once you're able to, you know, find other people to hold you accountable, teach you the way, then you're able to break through those barriers. But trying to do it on your own, it's going to be a lot more difficult. I'm not saying you can't do it on your own, but it's easier when you're around other people so that you can have those deeper conversations. And that's what I love about Powered by Women. Obviously, I'm going to continue tooting the horn.
As you should. I love that.
It's definitely not the typical networking community where you're just exchanging business cards. We go deep, and people have made lifelong friends and have grown their businesses. And it's just so powerful what community can bring in your business.
It is, and surrounding yourself with like people who do similar things.
Yeah.
I've noticed that I just love my entrepreneur circle of friends because we have different conversations. Like, I'm like, what did you invest in? Tell me, like, what was your ROI? Like, all these things.
Absolutely.
To where sometimes if you're at like a birthday party and it's, you know, the conversations are not kind of like that. And so surrounding yourself with people similar, but also like, I think it's so important when you are, especially being like a mom and an entrepreneur and stuff, we get so caught up in that you don't take care of yourself. I remember the first couple years of starting, like my cleaning company was my first business.
I love it.
And I had just gotten sober. And I was like worked all day and night and I didn't really take care of myself, like
Yeah.
all of that. I gained more weight than I, like to, all that. And then I remember when I finally got my business to where I wasn't actually having to clean myself and stuff, then I started being like, okay, I'm going to go get my hair done every 4 weeks. Ooh, I discovered Botox. Okay, I discovered like all these different things. And then I really started like working out and caring about what I ate.
Yeah.
And I realized like those things are so important because when I feel good and I feel like I look good, I can execute at a completely different level because it's like you can't pour from an empty cup.
Absolutely.
And so that's so important in entrepreneurship because we get so caught up on like building the business and working till late at night. And then I know like a lot of entrepreneur friends of mine, we talked about this on weight gaining early on in business. Because you're like working all day and night, then you just stop and go through a drive-through on the way home because you're exhausted, you gotta be up early. And so it's like really balancing, like taking care of yourself so that you can be the best version of you.
Absolutely, yeah. I was grateful because I was a personal trainer. I had a fitness brand for 6-7 years before I went into business coaching and before I launched Power by Women. So I was in the gym 5-6 days a week. I also owned a meal prep company in the past. So I had all of those skills and I see a direct correlation between like sleeping enough, getting enough water.
Huge.
I'm big on weight training and the success of my business and how much effort I can put in that work. But people try to separate business and life when in reality it's one organism. And if you're not pouring into yourself, if you're not taking care of yourself, prioritizing your needs, getting enough freaking sleep, making sure that you're not on your screens right when you wake up and right before bed. I mean, there's so many people who grab their phones immediately and start scrolling. That doom scrolling that people do, it really impacts your mental health. And if you're not nourishing your body not only with nutritious food and water and whatever supplements you need to take, but also like, what are you nourishing your mind with? Are you just sitting there and watching Netflix all afternoon? You know what I mean? What circles are you around? Like, who's speaking life into you? Those are all really important because everything that comes into your body and into your mind is going to get breathed out into your business.
100%.
So you have to ask yourself, like, if your business is struggling, look at other aspects of your life. Are you neglecting them?
And usually you are.
Yeah. The analogy, the glass and the rubber balls, like the glass balls are the ones that will break if you drop them. And that's your health. That's your family. Those are the relationships that you have.
Right.
So those things are so important. When I sign up a new client, we go through the seven pillars of well-being.
Tell us about those.
Yeah. So, God, let's see if I can remember them off the top of my head. It's contribution and community. So how are you pouring back into your community? Financial health, obviously, that's important. What are your financial goals? How are you going to get there? And then family. So family, personal relationships. Are you prioritizing those? I want to say spirituality. So meaning. What is your faith? What do you believe in? Is it bigger? It doesn't have to be God. It can be universe. It can be whatever that is to you. Like, what is that bigger meaning? We have to have some type of connection to that. I want to say it's health and wellness. So are you prioritizing your health and your wellness?
Right.
Are you working out? Like, it doesn't have to be in the gym, but like go for a walk, get out in nature, connect with nature. I think that that's a huge part of being a successful business owner. And then there's one more. And I can't remember it off the top of my head.
That's okay.
It's probably so obvious, but yeah, it's all, I always approach business through a holistic lens. I want to see all aspects of life because all aspects of life will impact the success of your business because you are the business. You know what I mean? Not like, as in you can't detach yourself, but like it's your blood is running through that business. So it's important that you prioritize yourself.
It is. I do coaching and like business coaching, but I call it business and life coaching because I don't take on too many clients anymore. But when I do, I'm like, okay, I'm just warning you that we're going to dig into your business, but we're digging into your life as well. Mm-hmm. Because if your life and your mental health and your mindset, mostly your mindset, is not on point, we're not going to get your business where it needs to be.
Absolutely.
And so it all just comes hand in hand. But I would say most of it is just on the mindset, like get out of your own way. People are there biggest hurdle. And
Yeah.
most of it is fear. Most
I
of it
know.
is just like frozen in
Yeah.
fear. If people could just, I always tell them, get your feet there and your mind will follow. Like if you wake up and you're too scared to do it, fucking do it anyway.
Yeah.
Like just get your feet there and then your mind will catch up later, right?
Yeah.
But if you wait for your mind to get there, your feet will never get
Yeah.
there
It's
because
that-
you'll just talk yourself out of it.
Totally. And there's this loop where it takes action to create confidence, to create competency. But in order to get
100%.
into that loop, you have to take the action. And so many people wait, procrastinate, go into this downward spiral of self-defeat and sabotage that they don't ever take the action. But the action is what will start that upward cycle.
The action is what will get your mind there. So many people, I hear people all the time, well, I'm just quite not ready. I
Right.
don't feel right about it. You're never going to feel fully right
Totally.
about it until you actually do
Yeah.
it. You have to, I mean, if you don't wake up and have a little bit of fear of stuff that you have to do, you're not doing big enough things.
Absolutely.
I love when I'm super nervous to do something because,
Yeah.
that's like I'm trying new shit.
Yep.
Like, I do stuff all the time that I'm so nervous to do. I'm
I
like,
love
can people
this.
tell that I'm nervous?
Okay,
but
this is great.
Yeah, it's so good. But you have to do
Yeah.
that shit. If you're not doing stuff on a daily basis that you're scared of, that makes you feel nervous, that you're embarrassed
Yeah.
of, you're like, do I look like a dork? Do I sound
Yep.
like a dork? Whatever. But you do it anyway. That's the shit that makes you grow.
Yeah,
that
that's
is
what
how
makes you
you
great.
grow as a
yeah.
human.
I made a commitment to myself probably 10 years ago is I would say yes to anything that scared me. And in that 10
Yes,
years,
I love
have
that.
summited two 14,000 foot mountains, Mount Rainier and
Okay.
Mount Shasta. I have gone skydiving. I have gone spelunking, which is like cave exploration,
is that?
which is like frightening because I am a little claustrophobic.
Oh, that is
I have spoken
scary.
on stages in front of hundreds and hundreds of people. I've been interviewed on probably a dozen or 24 podcasts. Like anything that scares me, I'm like, okay, yes, even though
That's
I'm sweating.
how you grow.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's-
Because I know that the byproduct of saying yes is confidence. And you need
100%.
confidence in order to be a successful entrepreneur. And you have to be a little crazy.
You do. It's that living life is though you can't fail, even though you can. And that's like so many people. The fear stops them. We were talking about a new thing that I'm going to start doing. It's called the jump effect. And it's what I talk about the effect of when I first got sober, made that decision. And I remember like I jumped up in the air 3 times and then I made the call and I just jumped past my fears and I said, okay, I'm going to deal with the 12 years of wreckage. I'm going to go get sober. And so the jump effect is jump up 3 times in the morning and go out there and do something you're scared shitless of doing.
I love it.
And I love it. So it's called the jump effect. But what it is it's getting people to do what they're scared of. If you just did what you're scared shitless of doing, your life would be so different.
And you'll notice that it's not actually that scary.
It's not even that scary. There's
Yeah.
so many things. Our heads as humans, like blow shit
Oh,
up.
yeah.
It'll start like this, and then you're like, oh my God, what if people do this? Oh my God, what if
Yeah.
I fail? What if this happens? And next thing you know, you're like, I'm not doing it.
We are great at self-sabotaging.
Yes, anxiety. And
Yeah.
so it's like, it's fine to have anxiety. It's fine to be scared. It's fine to do stuff you're embarrassed of. A
Yeah.
lot of it is embarrassment too.
Right.
People are so concerned what other people think of you. Why? Do those people's lives what you want? And like they're literally worried about what people think of them. People that are doing absolutely nothing in their life that person wants in their life.
Right.
But they're still worried about what that person thinks.
Yeah.
It's like, I think it's another level of like, I think you just become a different level of bad bitch when you get that confidence to where you don't care
Yeah.
what people think.
And I think to give credit to those people who are like, but it's so hard. It is a primal conditioning. Like our brains are wired to be a part of the
That's
tribe.
the norm.
So
it
in the
is.
past, back in the caveman era, we were designed to be in tribes. And if you did anything outside of the norm, then you will be exiled and you will die. So that's
Wild.
still in our DNA. That's still in our
Right.
reptilian brain in the back near our brainstem. So when things get challenging or when we're wanting to step outside of that comfort zone, that is triggered. And our brain is designed to keep us safe. We are biologically wired to keep ourselves in our safe zone, which is so fucked up.
That's so wild, but it makes perfect sense.
And what's great is our brains are malleable. Now we know we have the science around neuroplasticity, which means our brains can literally rewire and reprogram. So what we need to start understanding is that is absolutely true, that our brain is designed to keep us safe. So that means anytime we start to step out into the unknown, we're going to have red flags go off in our brain. Like, you can't do this. What are you doing? No one is going to, everyone's going to make fun of you and all of these things. So what you need to do is learn how to manage those internal thoughts, manage that dialogue, and choose something different. Because that is the action that will actually get you out of that space. And then we're able to rewire those neural pathways in our brain. After, with repetition, it does require repetitive effort. But once you repetitively choose the uncomfortable, then it becomes more normal. It becomes more natural, and it becomes less scary. So then the comfort zone starts to expand and expand and expand. And then you're able to step into that power that you have inside of you that your brain is trying to keep you from obtaining. And you can continue to grow from there. But it is biological in our brain. So give yourself some grace.
Yes.
But also understand that you can reprogram that mind. You can change.
I love that. I love that you pointed that out, because it's true. And most people think like that because, like you said, we're wired to think like that. But I think it's so important that they're able to see and hear that you can reprogram that. And you need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Life, if you're living life and going after what you want in life, you are not going to be comfortable all the time. And if you are, you are not doing what you want to do in life. Because you got to be used to feeling uncomfortable. It doesn't mean that you're miserable or that you're uncomfortable all the time. But you do get nervous. You do get fear. Your brain does try to talk you out of things, but you don't let it talk you out of things. You do it anyway.
Yeah. I started my personal development journey in 2018, which is late, I think, but grateful that I was on it and on it for the rest of my life. But something that really helped me was understanding that I'm not my thoughts. I am the watcher of my thoughts.
Yes.
So to be able to disconnect who you are and your incessant thoughts in your brain is so powerful, so that you can start to build the relationship that you have with yourself. So that when you start to hear yourself talk and start to go down that downward spiral and have that incessant chatter in your mind, you can stop it or just observe it and recognize, like, okay, this is what my situation is, and this is what it's telling me, and these are the feelings that are coming up. I'm not going to identify with those feelings. I'm not going to allow them to make the decisions for me.
Sure.
I'm going to distance myself from them, and I'm going to make a decision even though those feelings are there, and because those feelings are there. Because whatever's coming up for you, fear, it's like, okay, my body's trying to tell me something.
Sure.
I have fear, which means this is something that I'm not comfortable with. And because I decided to choose the uncomfortable thing, I'm going to lean into that. So whenever there's something that's challenging, that I get the butterflies in my stomach, I'm like, okay, I'm going to lean into that, because I know that that's an area of growth that is an opportunity for me. So it's just how you choose to view these things. Everyone experiences the same emotions, but the successful people are the ones who can view them in a different way and can handle these emotions in a different way. Like, don't suppress them, recognize them, honor them, observe them, and then continue on without allowing them to be those barriers.
No, I love that. And a lot of it too, like I try with myself, is to catch patterns. Like, I know myself, and if I'm going on, like, I push myself and I'm going on no sleep and I'm not eating well and all of that, then I'm gonna start having more anxiety. I'm gonna start overthinking things. I'm gonna start something that might just make me a little nervous is going to make me a lot more nervous. So it's also like catching patterns in yourself. And like you said, feeling the feelings. Just because you feel something, a feeling is not a fact.
Right.
And it's like feeling this, like you said, okay, why am I feeling? Oh, I'm feeling a little like nervous. Okay, this could be like a big thing coming up. Or so it's just like really understanding those feelings, and it's okay to feel them. You know, just feel them.
Absolutely. And I think the biggest superpower that you can have as an entrepreneur is radical responsibility. and honesty. So looking in the mirror and recognizing like, what are my bad behaviors? What am I doing right now that is contributing to the reality that I'm living? And recognize how much is in your control. I think oftentimes we just outsource our power to other people by blaming other people, when in reality it's powerful even in situations where maybe it wasn't genuinely your fault, but you're a part of it. So like, what did you bring to the table for this to happen? How can you
100%.
self-reflect and learn something that you can take away from it? And then you can see every single hard situation as something that you can learn from. And you genuinely can. Every freaking situation,
100%.
you have an opportunity to reflect and learn. Even if it is so tragic, especially if it's so tragic, because there's something there that is a gift to you. If you choose to see it that way, like you can choose not to, you can choose to be the victim of your circumstances and feel like the world is out to get you. Or you can also choose to view every situation as an opportunity for you to grow and learn and then evolve. Like we have a choice. And that's the biggest lesson that I've learned is like, we get to choose, and be careful what you choose, because one choice you're going to be able to create your reality, and the other one, reality is just going to be created for you, and you're going to be blaming everybody for it.
It's the like victim mentality in a sense. And the one thing you can control in life is yourself.
Yes.
And you can't control how others treat you. You can't control what others do. You can control how you react to it. You control what, what you'll put up with, that kind of stuff. But the thing you can control is yourself.
Yes.
And you should be looking every day on things you can improve. I always try to look for my character defects because I have a ton of them. I'm a human.
Same, girl.
Yeah, we're human. We have tons of them. But if you can like identify them, there's times, a lot of times I'll get so caught up and I'm like, oh, I handled that situation kind of crappy. Or I could have handled that situation better, or I could have reacted better. I could have tried harder.
Right.
All these things. And so if you find what you can do better in the situation, that's how you can control the situation and just constantly trying to improve.
Totally.
We're humans. We are always going to make mistakes. We're going to have character defects. We're moody, and we're women.
Right.
So sometimes there's times in a month where we're a little I'll be like, ooh, settle down, Lindsey.
Right.
Calm down.
Yeah.
It was not that serious.
Yeah.
But you can, if you're constantly looking for that and like trying to correct it and trying to learn from it, and each day try to be better than you were the day. Just our microphone, I swear. I just talk with my hands. It just happens. But if you try to be better every single day than you were the day before.
Yeah. And like what I loved sharing is the key is gracious self-discipline. So be disciplined, get the work done, put in the action, and give yourself enormous amounts of grace every step of the way. Because if you have one without the other, either you're going to be too lazy and not get shit done, or you're going to beat yourself up so hard that you burn out. So being able to, if you make a mistake or something doesn't go well, or you slack off, love yourself in those moments.
I love that you said that.
I love every part of me, even, the darkness in me. And I give myself so much grace every step of the way, because the alternative is, chaos. It's sadness. I'm beating myself up. We can be our worst freaking critics constantly. That's high achieving entrepreneurs. We default to that. And so I encourage people, like, give yourself more grace. Because I know that we're all going to like bust our ass and we're going to achieve our goals and we're going to do the thing, right? Because that's just how we're wired. That's why we're entrepreneurs. We lack grace and compassion and sensitivity for our human moments. So when we can combine those two, we're unstoppable.
I agree so much. And I love that how you touched on like loving yourself. It's so important to love yourself and be kind to yourself and how you talk to yourself.
Yes.
I really learned, like when I first got sober, I really struggled with loving myself because like there was so much pain and, shame and guilt, and just like, I really, this last 10 years grew into like loving myself. Like, I love myself. I love the way I physically look. I love my heart. I love who I am as a person. I love my drive. Like, I really love who I am. And how I talk to myself is so important.
Yeah.
So I have to remind myself, no, like, you're a bad bitch.
Yeah.
Like, you got this. You get up and kick ass,
Yes.
girl. And you have to talk to yourself like that.
Totally.
Like, you need to be your biggest cheerleader.
Absolutely.
And we do. We are hard on ourselves. Like, I'm always right in between, like, I'm proud of you, Lindsey, and you need to work harder.
And I think that's a perfect balance.
Right,
like,
right.
You don't want to swing too far. And I've swung both sides. And when you're able to find the good balance, and it's not always going to be balanced, but you're able to really put in the work that's necessary while being kind to yourself along the way.
Right. I think it's important. Well, thank you so much, Bri. Can you let everybody know how to find you?
Yes, Powered by Women of SAC. That is our nonprofit account. And then my personal account is I am Bri Norberg. And that's where you can find me.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Yes.
Have a great day, guys. Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.